Welcome back, peeps. Thank you for tuning in to the Banner Bros channel, where we're always taking a look at the new tips and tricks in the Call of Duty universe. And in today's video, we got a good one for you. We got a juicy one for you guys. So, as you guys know, some of the Modern Warfare scopes and some scopes in this game actually have less recoil than other scopes. For example, the Canted offered less recoil than the VLK. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at all the low zoom scopes in Cold War. Those are all the ones like 1.3, 1.75, everything like the red dots or the Reflex or the Holoscouts. We're going to be taking a look at them. We're going to be comparing them and seeing which one has less recoil or maybe less visual recoil control than the other ones. All right, if you guys do enjoy this kind of content, please remember to like and subscribe and turn that notification bell on. It DPS me out a lot. And as well, special thanks to all my YouTube members who give me a little bit extra support my channel. And with that being said, let's jump right into this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first test that we're going to be doing is the Millstop Reflex versus the Kobra Red Dot. As you guys know, whichever winner of these will be going on to the next one. So let's jump right into this puppy. Millstop Reflex going in first on this one. And we're going to be doing a 10-meter test because I did 15 meters, but it went over this. So I think maybe, yeah, let's go 9 meters just to make sure that the bullets don't go out of the range here. So let's go ahead and take a look. There we go. Now let's move a little bit to the right and we're going to do double testing with these ones. And let's go ahead and take a look. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Basically exactly the same. Now let's go ahead and test the next one, being the Kobra Red Dot. Let's go ahead and switch her up. Make sure we are at 9 meters right here. Let's go ahead and test. Damn, this one looks ugly. Like, I mean, this one visually, it's just kind of disgusting. Like, it's really weird. But by the first test, it seemed like it has a little bit less recoil actually. And as you guys can see, both tests, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the same exact distance. Horizontal recoil is about the same, but it does have a little tiny bit less recoil actually. So the Kobra Red Dot moving on to the next round. Let's go until the next one. Alright, so now for the next one, we're going to be testing the Kobra Red Dot versus the QuickDot LED. Kobra Red Dot being the winner for the last one and going in first right now. We're going to be doing the 9-meter test again. So just moving a little bit to the side, and there we go. 3, 2, 1, blast off. There we go. Now moving in just a little bit to the right. Let's go ahead and test that one out. There we go. Next up, we're going with the next contender, the QuickDot LED. Go ahead and move a little to the right, double checking. We are at 9 meters, and there we go. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. This one even has less recoil than the other one. God, like, you can even feel it. You can feel that the FFAR just doesn't even go up that much. Now, the second one definitely felt. So we're gonna do one more test with this one because that was like a really kind of weird test. The first one definitely seemed like it didn't have any, but then the next one just kind of went even higher. So we're gonna do a third test with this one just to see which one is the common denominator. And no, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it has about the same amount of recoil. So if we noted visually, the first one was kind of weird, but the second one was about the same and might have even a little bit more. But if I had to take a look, I think they're both about the same. Maybe, oh man, the top curve is a little bit less in the second one, but this first curve I think is a little bit more in the first one. So we're gonna have to go with it visually. So if we take a look at this one, the Kobra, and then we take a look at this one right here, I think this one definitely has a lot more aiming stability, as you can see, compared to this one. I think this one moves a little, just a tad more compared to this one. So I think just because of that, this one doesn't move that much. So, and I think it's a little bit wider. I'm not sure, but I guess we're gonna be moving on with the second one, just because I mean it was really tough. But we're gonna be moving on with the QuickDot LED. I just like it a little bit better. I feel it moves a little bit less compared to this one right here. I think this one just moves a lot. So we're going to be moving on with the next one, with the QuickDot, moving on to the next round. Basically with Recoil, they're about the same. So now we're going to be going into the Holoscout that a lot of people like this one. So QuickDot versus Sillix. So now we're going to be moving on with the next one. So we got the QuickDot first again. We're going to be moving on here to the left side and just making sure this is 9 meters. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Blast off in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Moving on to the second one. So we're going to move in a little bit to the side, making sure it's 9 meters. There we go. Now we're going to be moving on to the next one, the Sillix Holoscout. A lot of people like this one. A lot of people, this one has a wider view definitely, but I definitely don't like its initial reticle. It is kind of ugly, but let's just double check right here. We got a 9 meters right here. Let's move right now. Now that one definitely seemed like it had a little bit more recoil. That one almost went all the way to the top. We're gonna do one more test on this one and see. And there we go. So we got both of them and they both seemed almost the same, but as you can see, it went a little bit higher on that one, and then horizontally it went a little bit more in this one. So I definitely do feel that this one might be a little bit better. This one does have a lot more visually, right? You can definitely see a lot more in your sight. As far as the aiming stability goes, if I don't try to move it right there, doesn't move that much, just a little bit. Let's take a look at the QuickDot, but this one is a lot more zoomed in though. If we go ahead and check out, the Sillix is 1.75 and the QuickDot is a 1.25, so it's a little bit different there. So I mean, just because of that, I'm gonna have to say, man, I guess it depends. We are going for recoil, so I guess the QuickDot is moving on to the next one. The QuickDot is just the one that's gonna have to be moving on. So let's go ahead and yeah, just move on with the QuickDot to the next one. Now we got one of my favorite scopes. So we're gonna have the QuickDot LED versus the Microflex LED. Microflex LED is like my go-to. I love it. This is the one I use the most. So hopefully, please let it not lose. So let's go ahead and do the double testing right now. Let's go ahead and test it at 9 meters. And there we go. We're gonna start off with this one, with the QuickDot that's been moving on. Again, if they've all been really close, but this is just the one that I chose personal preference. So let's go ahead and blast that first one off. Move a little bit more to the right. Double check. We are at 9 meters. There we go. Pretty much the same. Now let's go ahead and check with the Microflex LED. Again, double checking at 9 meters. This is my favorite one. Please, please, you gotta win. And it seems the first initial one does have a little bit less recoil. A little tiny tad recoil. Now let's check, double check with the next one. Please, the second one, it's like 1 and 1 and then 1 and 1, and by the looks of it, this one had a little bit more recoil, but this one had a little bit less. So that's just a discrepancy that's going on there. But as far as this one goes, oh man, if we go back here, they look almost about the same, as you guys can see. But now let's go ahead and maybe take a look at the aiming stability. So if we aim at that little dot and then stop moving or stop trying to hold down the sight, this one is definitely moving a little bit. Now let's take a look at the Microflex LED. And if we take a look at that Microflex LED, it's moving a little tiny bit. I would say almost about the same. Almost about the same. But I definitely choose the Microflex. I might have to say the Microflex LED is going to have to move on this one, just because it's almost about the same in the recoil and the aiming stability, but that visually it's just a lot better. But now if we compare the scope, just so you guys can see, the Microflex is a 1.25 and the QuickDot is also 1.25. So both of them being the same exact scope on this one. So let's go move on to the next one. All right, so we're gonna move on to one of the final tests. We got the Microflex LED versus another one of the Holoscopes, the Hawksmoor. The Hawksmoor does have a little bit more magnification, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. Again, we're gonna be doing the 9 meter test on this one, testing it out. Let's go. First test done. Moving on to the right. There we go. Now testing the Hawksmoor. Now this one definitely has a lot less visibility than the other holographic scope that we tested out, but let's maybe take a look if there is something special with this one. And by the looks of it, no, maybe even a tad more recoil. but let's go ahead and just confirm it right over here. There we go. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we can see pretty much with the recoil was almost the same with the first one. The second one, we got a little bit more recoil, but we know that is just not that the way it is. As far as recoil control, basically it's exactly the same. And let's go ahead and test the stability on this one. So we're gonna go ahead and aim at that little dot right there, and without trying to move it, there we go. And a little bit, you know, a little bit moving off target a little bit. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the other one. Now this is just like horrible. I mean, the sighting on this just feels really, really bad. I feel that it's almost about the same, moves almost about the same, but we're going to be moving on with the GI Mini Reflex just because of that visibility it has. I mean, look at this. This is just horrible. So moving on to the next one, which is going to be the final one. So we got the Microflex LED versus the Diamondback Reflex, one of the last reflexes in the game. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so we're moving on to the last recoil test of this one. So we got the GI Mini Reflex versus, not the GI Mini Reflex, sorry about that one. We got the Microflex LED versus the Diamondback Reflex. Again, this is the last test that we are going to be doing. So let's go ahead and do the 9-meter test first with this one. Oh, we got a little guy coming in. Downed him. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. 9 meters with the Microflex LED. Let's take a look. Done that first test, moving a little bit to the right, double checking we got the meters on this one. There we go. A little bit more recoil on that second one. Let's go ahead and take a look with the next one with the Diamondback Reflex. Now, a lot of people seem to like this one, but this one just feels a little bit weird. Maybe we got something special going on over here. And by the looks of it, same amount of recoil as the first one. And for the second one, again, you know, the first one had a lot and then the second one didn't have that much, but does seem to be almost about the same. I mean, there is really no difference here, although the Microflex LED did seem to have a lot better horizontal recoil. As you guys can see with this Microflex LED, I mean, look at what we're getting here. We're not even getting that huge curve on the other one. So Microflex LED, I believe, doing a better job overall. I mean, that first one is basically like a vertical. I mean, it doesn't have that weird glance anymore. And if we take a look at the aiming stability, let's go ahead and aim right here. And definitely doing pretty decent, just like we saw with the other ones. And let's go ahead and take a look with the Diamondback. And almost about the same, but the thing that just can't beat the Microflex LED is just the cleanness of it. That's why I use this scope. I mean, as we can see, the vertical recoil control and all the recoil is pretty much on par, but the Microflex does a really good job at it. But just look at this. You can see everything when you go like this. All these other scopes, I believe they're just too intrusive. Like all the other reflex scopes just had a lot of shit going on in them. And I just feel the Microflex is probably the best one for that. So as far as the low zoom scopes, Microflex, in my opinion, is the best one in the game. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you guys have a different opinion. Let me know what you guys use for your low zoom scope. Peace out, everybody. And I'll see you all in the next one. Well, hello there. I see you're still here, and because of that, you're going to get a VIP tour of my brand spanking new website. Here you can check out if I'm streaming, or maybe donate some Benjamins if you want to support me a bit more. Most importantly, you can get your own anti-gulag merch right here. 100% guaranteed that you will not go into the gulag if you wear one of these. And finally, you can check out some of my COD videos and the top point makers on my stream. And now, with all that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.